Our last topic is more of an opinion based, but it was the Bretson's idea, and I really liked it. And it's who is in our favorite 11, okay, under 21 11. It's not based by who's the best, but who's our favorites, okay? Who's Alex's favorites and who's Bretson's favorites 11.
Yep.
So you want to start like goalie, or do you want to just say the 11s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's start like goalie. I'll start. You want to start with the goalie?
Yeah, and then at the end, we can wrap it up by saying the 11s as a whole. But what I really would love to just, I hope people will get a little interactive about this because this kind of like, I grew up knowing, and this is gonna date me. We now know my age when I say this, but I grew up loving Brian McBride. Not because he was the best striker. In fact, a lot of you probably don't know who the hell he is. Understand?
I don't know who the
right?
hell he is.
Exactly. But he played for Fulham. He was a Fulham star back when it was crazy for Americans to go abroad, right? And he did really well there. That if you ask anyone that was a Cottager fan, right, that was a Fulham fan, they know who Brian McBride is. Okay. But he was the type of guy that would go up against an Italian defender in the 2006 World Cup and take an elbow to the face and literally have to get like metal installed in his cheek and then he'd play with like a bloodied face the whole rest of the game. He was the guy that would take 15 knocks and get up every time, right? So that's kind of what I meant by this.
I love those Warriors.
Exactly. So I have a lot of these guys with chips on their shoulders. And I'm going to start with a biased one, and I'm going to go with an American goalkeeper. He's 17 years old. He's 6'4". He plays for the Chicago Fire. And I'll be very honest right now, the Chicago Fire has been a dumpster fire the last 10 years. Okay. And that's about the only fire that's been happening there. But there is hope ahead. They're starting to rely on their homegrown talents. They got 30,000 people out to Soldier Field the other day. And in goal started, I think, the last 8 or 9 games. He's got 4 or 5 clean sheets, which for the Fire, that is amazing. And his name is Gabriel Slonina. And he's 17, 6'4", good shot stopping ability, confident as all get out. And he's a name you're going to hear a lot moving forward. Is he better than like a David Ochoa who will play for Mexico moving forward? No. Is he better than Ilan Meslier? Obviously not. But Slonina is going to be somebody you want to watch out for because he is essentially the hope of a whole franchise in Major League Soccer moving forward. And he's good. It's early, but he's good. So we'll see.
There you go.
Who's your goalkeeper?
So who's my goalkeeper? So I'm going to go here with my Irish heritages. If I'm telling you that I see this player play at club level, I'm lying. Okay, I don't see Portsmouth play, but I wanted to mention here because I'm half Irish. Okay, and I absolutely loved it. I'm half Irish, and I watched the Ireland Portugal game, and I was admired by the goalkeeper, and that was Gavin Bazunu. Okay, 19 years old, and he honestly leveled himself against Portugal.
Sure.
And I had to say to myself, like, Ireland, you have that position locked. And previously, one of my favorite players growing up was Shea Given. And now see Gavin Bazunu doing that for Ireland. It's really nice to watch for me. So that's my pick, coming from my Cork heritage. So I had to mention this one. And yeah.
I like it. And he's part of the Manchester City machine, right? He's on loan to Portsmouth. And I think
he'll inevitably have to leave, right?
Yeah, he will. Probably because I don't see him. Hey, Zach Steffen has gotten some good words, but I think the bigger thing to say here is we look down lists of U21 goalkeepers. You got Trubin, you got all these really, really good studly dudes, right? A bunch of Turkish goalkeepers that look great. And there's only one that stopped the Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. And that's Gavin Bazunu. So I think, your heart's in the right place, right?
Yeah, it's true. So, yeah.
All right. Well,
he did have a memory for me. So
there you go. Do you want to go with your left back?
I want to mention like the 4 defenders, like just so we can wrap defenders. So I want to start I'm going to mention my defensive line, and my defensive line consists of Nun Menge at the left. Okay, always going bold.
Shocking.
Julian Timber as center back. Lacroix, which the pace is bold and the community on TikTok know that Lacroix is extremely bold. And I don't know who's his lookalike, but he's bold too.
That's hysterical.
And Tino Livramento.
Yeah.
Okay? So my defensive line is Nuno Mendes, Julian Timber, Lacroix, and Tino Livramento. I want to have a special mention here. Tino Livramento, Academy Player for Chelsea of the Year, and he's balling for Southampton, okay?
Yeah.
I don't see him staying maybe next season already at Southampton because he's playing so well.
Yeah.
So, and Armand Borja também is 2 for Le Coban. So, yeah, that's my defensive line.
€5 million, right? Is that what that was to land Tino? My goodness. Yeah, and he really is. He's fun to watch for Southampton, and man, he took that right back position over quick over there. But that's a high ceiling back four, even for favorite 11. So I'll go mine here, and it's going to be maybe a little more leveled up already in terms of who we know. But I love it because there's a lot of CONCACAF in this. You and I defer on who the best left back in the world is right now, U21. And that's okay because it doesn't mean I don't believe in Nuno Mendes. It just simply means that Alphonso Davies, in my mind, he's essentially one of the GOATs of the CONCACAF region, okay, currently. So he's got to be my starting left back, capable of anything at any time. Yeah, so we're going to go you're right, I should lump them together first. We'll go left back, Alphonso Davies. We'll go center back, Boubacar Kamara. He can play middle too, middle of the pitch. We'll go center back, Wesley Fofana, when he's healthy, because he's just a beast. And right back, this will puzzle some people, but I'll say Serginho Dest. There's such a high ceiling.
You have to say Serginho Dest. Come on.
There's just such a high ceiling on Serginho Dest that it just makes me happy. And he's playing more and more like he has a chip on his shoulder, right? He had a pretty bad outing for the U.S. men's national team, I think, early on in World Cup qualifying. And he has since followed that up with really solid performances. And I don't know of many right backs that can create the type of magic on the dribble that Alphonso Davies can on the left side, right? And to have those just makes me like really excited. If we're talking about a favorite 11 that's going to impress, probably leave us a little exposed on the right side defensively, but hey, that's okay.
You got Fofana there.
You got Fofana. If you got Fofana, you're good to go. And Kamara, Boubacar Kamara, tough tackler, incredibly composed, plays beyond his years, versatile. He'd be my general, my smart general, because he's not the biggest dude, but he'd be my general.
He's a quality player.
He is. All right, so your midfield.
So my midfield, the trio, got to put João Felix because for me, the dribbling of João Felix is still immaculate. Okay, sure. I love it. Tonali, I love it. I love that Tonali's finally delivering this season for Milan. I did mention that I was very sad of him last season, and I'm very happy now that he's delivering as he should. And he went out against Bologna, and they suffered 2 goals. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that. So that means Tonali is the system. He's the engine of AC Milan right now. And my third option is Tchouaméni. So Tchouaméni, underrated player for me, considering where he is at playing ability. He's top class. He's French national team level, and he's not talked like a French national team player. That's true. My midfield is Felix, Tchouaméni, and Sandro Tonali. Okay, that's my favorite under 21 midfield.
That'd be bonkers just to actually see that. You know, has anyone I wonder if any of our listeners has ever assembled that midfield in FM or FIFA. All right, mine is relatively straightforward. Pedri's the organizer. For this for a reason. Jude Bellingham is in there to be the bite and apparently to score ridiculous goals like he did over the weekend. His slalom goal, then he roofed it, loved it. And then you ready for this? I was very surprised.
Surprised with yourself?
Surprised with myself. When I thought about it, I'm sitting there like U21. I want Phil Foden. I want Foden. Yes. he's got
You're always hating on Foden.
I am, and you know what? I think it's because you're seeing him turn into a world-class star. I mean, he already is one, but like he makes every moment count. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. There's almost a little like, I think it's something about English players, right? Where there's just that like they got a little bite to them, which I really, really like. And Jude has it, and Phil Foden have it. And I think those two in the midfield would be absolutely wonderful with the graceful approach of Pedri and the organization of Pedri. So
that would be a cheat code. That would be a cheat code midfielder. But Foden playing at 8, I think that might be his future role. Like in 3 years' time, in that English team, I think he might be an 8 next to Mount. I really think that's going to happen, Breton. So it's interesting that you put him in that midfield because I think he's going to be more of a midfield in his career than a winger.
All right.
And when Guardiola leaves, I think that will adapt. Yeah. So
did you almost choke up when you said that? When Guardiola leaves, you almost choked up.
if Guardiola leaves, like he'll have a sabbatical year and maybe he'll go to Newcastle.
You never know. That's
where the money's at. So you want to go with your trio up front?
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, I got Bite in the midfield. I got Flair on the wings, and I'm gonna overflank the Flair. I'm gonna add way too much Flair. On the left side, I'm gonna have Kamaldeen at Stade Rennais. If you've seen him dribble and you've watched him play, like I got to watch him play in the Danish league, and now we're watching him play in Liga 1. He's delightful. Which is weird and old of me to say, but he just is a lot of fun to watch. So I'm going to go Kamaldeen on the left. I'm going to go up top. I couldn't get away from this. He's a freak of nature, Erling Haaland. Finally, on the right side, I'm going to go very Homer here, even though he doesn't really play on the right side, but I'm going to put Brendan Aronson, Red Bull Salzburg, because he's a mighty He's annoying. He's pesky. He's a half space merchant. He just sits in those little spaces and waits to get the ball. He can make something happen out of nothing. And yes, he's American. It's biased, and I'm picking him anyway because he's from the Philadelphia Union, and I love him. So
it's favorite 11. So there you go. You have that moment, and you deserve it, Breton. So my trio. You mentioned a Stade Rennes player. I'm going to mention a Stade Rennes player, and it's the player that I think will be a world-class winger, a top 3 winger one day. I'm that bullish on this kid, and it's Jeremy Doku, that right now is one of the best dribblers in the world.
I like it.
So Doku, Vlahovic, and Ferran Torres. Every player here, they're not the best in each position. No. But every player has a special trait. Vlahovic has the finishing of Haaland. Okay, he might not have the physical ability and the overall package, but the finishing, Vlahovic has it. Doku dribbling is already in a special category itself. And Ferran Torres, goal scoring and clinical and pace, the overall package in terms of like being the Spanish player for the future. I believe he's going to be one of the key players in that Spanish team.
Yeah.
So these are my favorite players to come. Okay, Ferran Torres, Vlahovic, and Doku. So
all right,
you want to mention the 11s?
Yeah, we'll mention the 11s. Okay. And what do you think? We throw them in the notes, and what I'd love to maybe we can even do one of those polls. Whose would win against each other? Alex versus Breton. I wonder who's
Come on, your midfield is like ridiculous.
Yeah,
like, I didn't want to put the best in midfield. Like your midfield is actually ridiculous. Like I have to even say it. Like I'm like, whoa, man! Like you went bull with our midfield. So I'll mention my team. So
all right,
Gavin Bazunu. Yep. Left back Nuno Mendes, Lacroix, Timber, Tino Livramento, then Felix, Tchouameni, Tonali, and then up front Ferran Torres, Vlahovic, and Jeremy Doku. That's my favorite under 21 11.
That's a fun 11. I'm trying to it's like a nice diverse 11 because there's not like a really common element amongst all of them, but you have good reason to have each one there. So all right, my 11, I've got goalkeeper Gabriel Slonina, left back Alphonso Davies. My 2 center backs are Boubacar Kamara and Wesley Fofana. Right back Serginho Dest. In the midfield, I've got the cheat code Pedri, Jude Bellingham, and Phil Foden. And up top, I've got Kamaldeen Sulemana, Erling Haaland, which is another cheat code, and Philadelphia Union represent Dupe. I'm going to say Brendan Aronson. All right.
There you go.
Um,
There you go. So if you guys want to mention, that was fun. That was fun. If you guys want to participate, like, tell us your favorite 11s, under 21 11s in the comments section, or players. Okay, and explain to us why, because we love to know the stories around why you love these players. Okay.
Absolutely.
And you can love Fati just like you can love Darwin Núñez, just like you can love Musiala. You have a story. You have a moment.
Yep.
So, yeah, just tell us, and we love to hear it. So that was a good pod, episode 27, right?
That was. I mean, we could go on forever, but we have to stop somewhere. Even good things come to an end, right?
Yeah, there we go. But more things to come for sure. So
Yes.
if there's anything you guys want us to mention, like, or any new element you want in the show, please put down in the comment section below.